Vinny Tortorich here. Hey man, if you're a fan of Izzy, you might be a fan of me too. I'm the guy that gets people to lose a lot of weight. I have something free for you guys. This is no clickbait. Just go to VinnyTortorich.com and there's a big banner. It's a free PDF, how to lose weight. It's an intro guide to NSNG at VinnyTortorich.com. Go check it out exclusively for anyone who listens to Izzy Presley. Thank you.
Rockwood Saloon Authentic Apparel takes rock and roll fashion to a new level with their tees and tanks for men and women. They also make custom shirts, jackets, vests, pants, hoodies, beanies, and more. The Rockwood Graphics Department can design anything from your logo, t-shirt design, promo posters, band swag, and printed at great prices. From tour shirts and custom stage gear to killer threads for the street to the stage, Rockwood Saloon has it all. Rockwood Saloon, authentic rock and roll apparel for stage and street. World tour tested for quality, comfort, style, and durability. Check them out at www.rockwoodsaloon.com. That's rockwoodsaloon.com.
Hey ladies, Sass Pants Designs will take that rock shirt that everyone has and make it your own in a flattering, sassy, and simple way. There are one-of-a-kind tank tops, lace-up tees, and tube top dresses already in stock. Check out the online store at sasspantsdesigns.com and like Sass Pants Designs on Facebook for special offers and custom orders. That's sasspantsdesigns.com, sasspantsdesigns.com. Sass Pants will make you the envy of the party.
Come on.
Hi, this is Bobby Brown, and welcome to another fucking podcast.
You kids with your loud music and your Dan Fogelberg, your Zima, hula hoops, and Pac-Man video games, don't you see? People today have attention spans that can only be measured in nanoseconds.
See, son, old legends never die. They just lose weight.
Like a legend and an out-of-work bum with a lot of life.
Yes, Courtney, it is party time. Hello, Hollywood. Hello, world. Hello, my loyal minions. It is good to see you, and it's always good to be seen. My name is Izzy Presley, and welcome to another fucking podcast. Coming off a great night last night at the Other Door in North Hollywood with our monthly live show. We had Don Jameson and Jim Florentine from that metal show in the house. Had a nice little crowd. We videotaped it all. There was, of course, the live stream that was going, and we are going to edit it down. We got the sound off the board, and we're going to put it up on YouTube for everybody. So you got that coming for you soon. And I'll probably post the audio hopefully this week. Also, really quick before we jump into this, tonight at Bogey's in Westlake Village, if you were in the Los Angeles area, we had Terry Elus from Great White and XYZ a couple weeks back, and he was talking about his benefit that he is doing tonight for the victims of Hurricane Harvey and Irma. That is tonight as members of the Iron Maidens, members of Ambrosia, members of Player. Lots of great players down there raising money for the hurricanes. So if you can make it down there tonight after the show, get on down there. If not, just go donate money, buy some stuff. They got a whole bunch of silent auctions. Guys from Great White are going to be there as well. It's going to be a very, very cool thing. Make sure you hit up all of that social media. Of course, the Facebook page, facebook.com/another effing podcast. And my personal page, which is Izzy Presley 1 on Facebook. Find out everything I am doing entertainment-wise, like this show, like Soundcheck Live. We just came off of a great one last week. And we'll be back again at the end of October. I believe it would be October 25th, but don't quote me on that. But that is the last Wednesday in October, and I know there's a lot of cool stuff planned. And it will be my birthday month celebration gimmick. I don't get a whole set this time, but gonna do a couple songs. Got a couple of cool things planned for you. If you want to donate to the show, you absolutely can. PayPal.me/Izzy Presley to send the money. Or you can just go buy stuff. Teespring. Look me up on Teespring. Buy T-shirts for the podcast. We got Loyal Minion shirts. We've got Act a Tribute to Ace Frehley T-shirts. We got Drunken Summit T-shirts. We got the I'm Huge and Sheboygan T-shirts. And if you do want one of the roadie packs, I do have 3 in stock as we speak. So you can just PayPal me that money. $35. That includes shipping inside the continental United States. You get a flask with the show logo on it, along with a Zippo type lighter, a dog tag, and an LED flashlight. So make sure you check all of that stuff out. And if you want, just hit me up. We'll get you taken care of with that. Now, getting to my in-studio guest, a man who We were MySpace friends. We were MySpace friends. That was kind of the gimmick. And you came down and did Soundcheck Live, and it was great to see you. Great to finally meet you. I didn't realize it. I knew you were a musician, but I didn't realize, to what.
You didn't realize I didn't suck?
Yes, that, exactly. Exactly. You know him from the American Pie movies and, of course, Rookie of the Year and a whole long list of acting endeavors. And now you're producing and directing stuff, too.
I am.
Kind of all over the place.
I'm sort
along
of,
with being a musician.
I'm sort of a renaissance man of 2017. Or I just don't know who I am.
Well, that could be, too, because we don't know exactly which name you're going by at this point.
Well, it's 3 first names, so they're all interchangeable.
Yeah, there you go. Thomas Ian Nicholas, Thomas Nicholas, Tom Nicholas. I came up with this theory. There's 2 people you just can't trust in this world. Women with buzz cuts and guys who use their entire first name as their first name instead of shorting it.
Fair enough. Well, I do introduce myself as Tom when I meet folks.
There you go. You beat the trend.
But, I do agree with you. 3 first names either means actor from the 90s or serial killer.
Right. You grew up in Vegas, right?
I was born in Vegas.
Oh, okay.
Born at Sunrise Hospital. And man, just really quick, obviously, like the craziness that happened there yesterday, like
insane.
It looks like, luckily my family's okay because I have a lot of family that still live there, but a lot of their friends are not.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like I know some people that have been like very, very badly affected by this.
Well, I know Rich Redmond. Jason Aldean's drummer, so he was on stage when it happened, and thankfully everybody in the band and that crew was fine, but unfortunately a lot of people, just a weird couple days, man, with that, and then we don't know if Tom Petty's going to live or not. I don't think he is.
Yeah, it's crazy that he's like in the state that he is because, people are already like, right. I mean, I understand,
right.
He's more than likely, considering his state, will not, survive. But he's not necessarily gone yet, so what a weird way to kind of go.
Well, I mean, I think they did jump the gun a little bit because the report did come out earlier today that he was dead.
Well, yeah, the report came out, but I think the first reports that I read was obviously that they pulled life support, but that obviously, he was still. I mean, he doesn't have brain activity as far. I mean, I can't verify any of this. I'm not a news reporter.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like I've been a fan of his forever, and I cover like in my extended encores when I run out of like songs that the band knows, we always hit Free Fallin', and I literally just played it at a gig on Saturday.
Oh wow, man!
So it's kind of it's just a trip.
It really is. It really is, and it's getting to that point now too, where all these musicians that affected our lives growing up, they're going to start to go. I mean, and they are starting to go, and it's a part of life, but it sucks.
Yeah.
Especially now because there's really nobody to pass the torch to.
Well, it's just a different day and age, I think,
right.
It's there wasn't like mass media and things was a different game when I was a kid, when we were kids.
Yeah.
So those that were, the kings and queens of it all, they were alone on an island,
right.
And now, like essentially you can do a podcast and have 1 million downloads, and you can be, king for a day.
I would take a shot in the mouth for 1 million downloads, by the way.
But this is my point: is that
right.
that it can happen, because of technology. So it's a different day and age where there's good and bad about that. I think.
Right.
I think looking toward our heroes is cool and puts a lot of pressure on them. And it's also kind of like there's something that's refreshing about that we're all in this together. So I don't know. There's good and bad of both, I guess.
Right, exactly. And it's just weird. It's like because like all my heroes. I mean, you just look at my guitar, you can see my hero. Ace Frehley.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and then these guys are all getting old too, and it's like, fuck, which is the first guy from Kiss that's going to go? Even though Eric Carr had passed away in '91, but that's a long time ago, and he wasn't an original member. But okay, so you grew up, you were born in Vegas.
Born in Vegas, yeah.
Right.
So I grew up. I lived in Northern California, and then I moved to LA when I was 6.
Oh, okay.
So I pretty much grew up in LA. I'm a default local to
all right, there
Los
you go.
Angeles.
Did you have the acting bug as a kid, or was your parents kind of pushing you into it? How did that all happen? Because I know a lot of times that's how it works. The parents go, I want him to do this.
Yeah, it wasn't my mom like pushing me into it. In fact, my first sort of introduction into it was me helping my mom out. So the first time was more of like a happenstance, as it were. So like my mom came down. She moved to LA when she was 19 to pursue acting, and then didn't work out. She went back into dance, met my dad, had me, and then when I was 5, we came down here. And then she wanted to pursue her career again, started casting atmosphere or background, extras, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So she was doing like, low budget Jan Michael Vincent movies back in the mid 80s. And there was a movie where she got a call on a Sunday night and they said, okay, we need an altar boy. It was 10 p.m. on a Sunday night. They said, we need an altar boy, 6 a.m. call tomorrow. So she woke me up the next morning because I was already asleep before school and said, you're coming to work with me. And so I was like her get out of jail free card because I was the altar boy,
Exactly.
But it wasn't that she wanted me to do it. It was like, what else was she going to do?
Right.
Where was she going to fulfill the job with that short a notice, 8 hours notice? And so I just loved being on set and I dug it. And so I bugged her to want to do it again. So that was kind of how it started. And every 2 weeks as I started down the road of it, she would ask me, are you sure? Are you sure you want to keep doing this? And it was always my choice. Like, this is before we were talking about technology.
Right.
So this is before, like, cell phones. This is before pagers.
Yeah,
doctors had pagers, but that was it.
Well, Zach Morris had a cell phone, but...
Yeah, but that was not in 1986.
1988.
Okay.
Yeah.
He had
It's close enough.
Fair enough. All right.
Right.
You got me there. Well, we didn't have pagers. We were poor.
Right, exactly.
We were not Zach Morris. So... if I had an audition after school, the only way I knew is if I was playing with my friends in the schoolyard before I walked home, and my mom pulled up. If mom didn't pull up, like I knew I could be home at 4:30. School's out at 3. Can play with my friends for an hour and a half. Go home. And so if mom pulled up like right at 3, I was like, I got an audition. And so my shoulders would drop, and my mom would always say like, hey, you don't have to go. Like, if you want to stay and play with your friends. And sometimes I did. Sometimes I stayed and played with my friends, and then I would get hurt and have arguments, and then I started going on auditions more because that was more fun and safer.
Right, exactly. So how long was this before? Okay, so this is what, 86, 87, and then Rookie of the Year was 93, correct?
Yeah, we shot it in 92, came out in 1993. And obviously I did some things in between there.
Right,
some
obviously.
guest spots on TV.
Yeah,
Speaking of, Alyssa Milano earlier.
That's right. You were a young Tony Danza,
I
correct?
was on the 100th episode in I think 1986, 87. Around
All
there,
right.
On Who's the Boss.
That's right.
And then there was, things like Radio Flyer, which is the first time that I worked with John Hurd, actually. He... may he rest in peace as well. He stars in my new movie that's coming out. Well, my second new movie, because I have a few projects coming out.
That's good. You're working. That's awesome.
So I guess you were starting to go down a path, Izzy. I'm sorry.
Right. It's all right.
I'm railroading you.
Dude, I'm so fucking ADD. I'm going to start talking about squirrels in a second.
Squirrel. And, and we both looked.
Right, of course.
What? So I have a film that's coming out in theaters on Friday the 13th called The Lost Tree.
All right.
And so that's, this October, just in a couple of weeks. It's going out to select theaters across the country. The next film is the one that John Hurd stars in, and that's called Living Among Us, which just got picked up by Sony.
Nice.
So it goes into theaters end of January-ish, and it's unfortunately John Hurd's last movie.
Oh, that's too bad.
So I worked with him the first time in 1989. Now, it's not like we were like buds and hung out.
Right.
I was 9, so, we weren't going to happy hour after work or anything. But, I obviously knew him for a long time.
Right. So I do want to talk about Rookie of the Year for a little bit because I'm a Minneapolis kid, So how much time did you spend in Minneapolis when you were filming that?
Oh, you're going to do this, are you, Izzy?
I am.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to correct you because you're going into Little Big League, which is the Minnesota Twins.
Wait a minute. I thought you were the
It gets
Minnesota
confusing.
Twins too.
It gets confusing.
How the fuck did I fuck this up?
Because there was like 4 baseball movies all around the same time.
Right.
So we'll go through them.
Oh, that's right.
The Sandlot, Rookie of the Year,
Yep.
Angels in the Outfield, Little Big League.
Little Big League. Okay, that's right. Little Big League was he
inherited the team and then was the owner of the Minnesota Twins.
Yes, that's right. But I don't know why the fuck I thought.
Well, that's
because
because Lucas is cool and he's a cool guy and I'm a cool guy, and it's okay to confuse us. I feel honored by that. It's not the first time that's happened.
Well, don't I feel like the fucking asshole?
I mean, my favorite actually is I've been places or even interviews, and like I'll say like we'll talk about Rookie of the Year. They're like, oh man, I love that movie. Then they do like the Angels in the Outfield maneuver with like the arms, and I'm like, yeah, that's my buddy Joe. I love Joe. We went to acting class together for like 7 years. I'm also a compliment. So, you pretty much can't offend me by naming the wrong baseball film.
Well, I still feel like a douche.
I'm friends with Mike Vitar in The Sandlot. So I'm
you
literally
go.
friends with all the people
Right.
from all those movies. So
It's like the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon, except it's about the kids' baseball movies.
exactly. We're like the baseball pack
There you go.
instead of the brat pack.
There you go. All right, so because this is obviously how much research that I do, I looked up where you were from. That was it. That was it. Because I like conversation. I don't like questions. I like conversation. Oh, man, we got people chiming in already. We got Lori from Australia. We got Scott Strickland from Canada. Oh, we're watching the Mighty Ducks right now. Keeping with the young kid sports movies.
I had fun filming that. Oh, wait, I wasn't in that
No,
one.
you were not in this
But
one.
Colombe Jacobson is the goalie,
Aha!
and she was also my love interest in Rookie of the Year.
She wasn't the goalie in this one, though.
Oh, wait, which one
no,
is
this
this?
is the first one.
Oh, what was she in this one then?
Was she the...
She's the only chick on the team.
There's 2 chicks on the team.
There's
actually.
2 chicks. I've actually
Yeah.
never seen the Mighty Ducks. I'm sorry.
It's actually a great movie.
I believe it.
It is a good movie. I mean, come on. Emilio!
I just know that Colombe Jacobson is in it.
There you
That's
go.
all I know about this movie. And Emilio Estevez.
And it took place in Minneapolis.
There you go.
See? Notice how I say the name of the city and not the name of the state, so my horrible accent does not come out?
Come on, say it, dude. Say it.
No.
Say it.
Minnesota.
There you go.
See?
Hi, hello.
Oh, yeah, it's not an attractive accent. No woman has ever heard the phrase, oh, yeah, oh, for sure, going fishing up north there in Mille Lacs there this weekend and thought, you know what? I really need his cock in my ass. Just doesn't happen. All right, so Rookie of the Year, Disney movie. It's a big time.
That was technically, it was a Fox movie.
Was it a Fox movie? Jesus Christ! People are telling me the wrong shit! That is worth a Pat Fontaine laugh.
Yeah.
All right, cool. See you guys later.
Kitty
That's a good
Arthur's
show.
Court, which was the film I did after Rookie of the Year.
Oh, okay.
We technically it was an independent film produced by Trimark, and then Disney bought it.
Aha!
And then they also released the sequel straight to VHS, which is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
I think they're
straight
both
to tape.
available on DVD now, but probably not streaming.
All right, very well. Okay, so now I don't fuck up anymore. What team were you on when you played for when I hit Rookie of the Year?
Wait, I want you to guess. Come on.
Oh my God. Wasn't the Cubs, was it?
Yes, it was the
that's
Cubs.
right, because it was the kid with the bionic arm.
That's the one.
There you go. It's all coming together now.
See,
All
it
right,
was
it was-
prior to last year. My long running joke was I was because someone would go,
You were the
"Why-"
Jays.
They would go like, "Why do you look so familiar?" And I would say to them, my answer was, "Well, I was the last time the Cubs won the World Series." And they would look at me and they'd be like, "You're not 100 years old," because they would know 1908.
Right.
And they'd be like, "Well, it depends. 45. You're not 50." I'm like, "No, but I was the last time the Cubs won the World Series." Now I can't say that joke anymore. Because the Cubs went and won the World
took your
Series.
shtick.
They took my shtick. They took my one-liner. I'm glad they did, though.
I am,
That
too.
one-liner was getting old.
Yeah, well, plus, they deserved it
Yeah.
after that long. And
And I
all
can't
that
believe they're division
heartache.
champs again. It's awesome.
I know. So you are a Cubs fan.
How could I not be a Cubs fan?
So,
I mean,
yeah.
we filmed on Wrigley Field for
that's
an entire
amazing.
month. So
Yeah.
when I go there every year and I throw out the first pitch, I've been doing that since like 2008.
Oh, wow.
So my annual tradition since then is throw out the first pitch and then my band plays like across the street at one of the
Oh,
music
nice.
venues there. So that's like, and I sing the 7th inning stretch and all that stuff. So that's my annual summer thing.
There you go. How was Chicago as a kid?
It was cool, man. I mean, I spent it working.
Right.
I mean, there was 55 shooting days, and I worked 54 of them. But we did do cool stuff on the weekends.
Mm-hmm.
So many, like, we would, just to, like, bank extra school hours, we would go do field trips at all the museums. And there's so many,
course.
like, museums and the aquarium and, the Museum of Science and Industry. And, just so much stuff to see. Chicago kind of has it all, including really cold weather.
And, the greatest movie of all time, bar none, took place there. The Blues Brothers.
I'm on a mission from God.
Oh, I love that fucking movie. Speaking of bands.
Whoa, wait. Joss Auckland is in the Mighty Ducks as well.
See, there you go.
The king, he's King Arthur in King Arthur's Court.
I don't think I ever saw that.
That was the one I was saying, the Disney one.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That's cool.
Beater amplification, everybody. Check out Beater amplification. That's 2 E's. 100-watt, balls out, rock and roll tone in these heads. You can pull 2 tubes and you get a 50. So they even sound good at fucking bedroom levels, which is amazing. But then you got that 100 when you need it.
Does it break up at the low level still?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Oh, yeah.
I need that breakup, you know.
Well, I'm used to getting broken up, so. But after we're done, we'll let you plug into it, dude. It's sick.
Right on.
It's sick. That's why I was kind of hoping you get here early so you could just check it out. But we got time.
I'm seeing all my friends. I know Garrett. I know Sean. I feel terrible that I've never seen this movie. I know, like, and Garrett and his brother, they were both in Radio Flyer. So, like, I'm like literally know half the cast, and I've never seen this film.
Oh,
I need to watch The Mighty Ducks now.
Right. Well, and
I apologize to anyone who's listening that I have not seen The Mighty Ducks.
And you have a little one, right?
I do. I have 2 little ones.
Oh, okay.
I have a 5-year-old and a 1-year-old.
See, you sit down and watch Mighty Ducks with the 5-year-old.
I'm gonna have to watch it first. My son like pays attention to everything. Like when we watch a movie, he doesn't move. Like he's in, like start to finish, and he like memorizes everything. So I regretfully haven't shown him Rookie of the Year yet because there's a couple of things that like are a little like adolescence,
right?
And I know like a lot of 5-year-olds have seen it, and that's totally fine. I'm not judging that,
right?
But I just don't really want my son like running around and saying those lines of dialogue or going to school and saying that. And
so you're gonna wait till he's about 35 before you show him American Pie?
I'm never going to show him American Pie. He's going to have to watch it at his friend's house who has an older brother and, you know, and then try not to tell me that it happened, that he saw it.
Right, exactly.
Or I'll show him the TBS version, which is, I think, 7 minutes.
It's like watching Smokey and the Bandit on TBS. It's just not right. You scum bum.
Yeah, what happened to all those days, man, when you would watch like a movie on the airplane and they would have those hilarious overdubs of like trying to get rid of all the swear words because you obviously had to make it a rated R movie PG for the plane.
Yep.
And it would just be like the funny. It would look like a like a Bruce Lee movie, you know, like dubbing it into.
They did the exact same thing at the library. I remember when going to the library as a kid, I'd usually just watch Star Wars. But you'd watch something that had swearing in it, then all of a sudden it wasn't swearing. And it was about a half an hour long because they chop it up. But you could watch the full movie or the shortened movie.
Right. That's like when I watched, it was all the, that was the joke in Johnny Dangerously, like, shut the front door.
That's right.
They were making fun of all those overdubs.
Oh, my God. That's awesome. You fargen asshole. It's funny. Every year on the 4th of July, I have to take the picture because my buddy Johnny back home, I take the fireworks picture and put it up and go, Johnny's getting laid.
Awesome.
Oh, man. So how did you did you go through the ego phase after the success as a kid?
You know, that my experience was probably a little bit different. It was a little like disenfranchising, which is maybe, I think, a good thing because I think, you know, I was just having this conversation with someone the other day, and not to get all philosophical about why I'm only like 75% full of myself. It's the basic thing of like when you're doing a film like that, it's obviously really difficult, and there was moments on the set where I got, you know, put in my place.
Right.
Like I remember I'm 12 and I was complaining about my arm hurting, you know, one day because if you know anything about the mechanics of baseball, if you don't have a field of resistance, you can give yourself tendonitis because if you're not throwing an actual ball that has the right weight and everything and doing the mechanics, and if you look at the arm movement in that film, it's technically short arming. So I gave myself tendonitis at 12
by throwing like a girl.
By throwing short arm style because you know, you're supposed to keep your arm extended.
Yeah.
And so I had the right angle, which is bad, and also not having time to warm up because I was doing school and going right to it, and it was cold. And there was a scene that didn't even make the cut of the film where I was throwing a plastic rock, hollow.
Oh, really?
And literally, like the wind is kicking up, you know, and the thing can't go the way that it needs to go, and they're like, "You need to throw it faster." And I'm like crying. I'm 12, and the producer's like,
shit.
"Hey, you know, if this is too tough, we can send you home. We're only 2 weeks in. We can put someone else in your role." And I was like, "I'm fine. You know, I'm not going home." So you know, when after the film was done, I was doing promotion. And, you know, flying all across the country, going to New York and being put up in like 5-star hotels. Now, you're talking about a kid who's from originally Pahrump, which is 33 miles outside of Vegas, in a trailer park. And
I did my time in the trailer park too, brother.
we were a high-class trailer park, though. We had a double wide.
Ooh.
We had a tree, only tree in the neighborhood.
Wow.
My dad got a busted doughboy pool from the dumpster, went dumpster diving. And to make it work, he dug the hole out by hand. So we had a pool.
Wow.
So, we were
That's
high-class
impressive.
trailer trash.
Right.
But anyway, so 5-star hotel in New York, a little above my pay grade. Everything's paid for.
Yeah.
Limos everywhere. What do you want to go do? You see Phantom of the Opera? Here's tickets. You're in the 10th row, like all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Film comes out, starts doing well. Promo's done. Ghost town.
Nothing.
Yeah, you can literally call anyone that you've just been working with for months, and it's just no calls back. And at that moment, you have two choices. You can either A, go, well, that's not right. I know the way I'm supposed to be treated. I'm important now, and you can look at your friends the way that Henry Rowan even did to his friends in the movie and be like, I'm the big shot. You got to treat me the way I'm supposed to be treated. Or you can do what I did, which is, wow, that was a fun ride, and obviously this industry is completely fake, and people tell you what they think you want to hear to get you to do what they need you to do for the time, and when they're done with you, they'll call you back next time when they need you. And so I kind of just took it with a grain of salt and went on. And obviously there were things that were weird, like if I got recognized and crowds would form.
Right.
But it was odd. So when I did my next film, I didn't do a publicity campaign because I was I just want to work and I don't want to be famous.
Okay.
But then I learned a little bit later that you actually have to be a little bit famous to get more work. So, you roll with the punches.
Exactly. See, now me, I want to be famous. I'm slowly working my way up to a Z-list celebrity. Right now I'm at double A's, but I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
Luckily MySpace is still around. I don't know who's really checking their inbox.
Do you know my password? Because I forgot it a long time ago.
Man, I can't even remember the password to my Skype account.
Well, you don't have to remember it anymore. It's because it's all in the cloud. It's all saved, and it's all right. I don't even.
No, man. I didn't have it programmed in. I literally because it was attached to my Hotmail account.
Oh, there
and
you
I
go.
can't remember that account, and it took me 7 days just to figure out where to go to even get to Hotmail.
Oh wow!
The website.
Yeah.
You try and tell me. You try to find it.
I couldn't. I think my mom still uses Hotmail. Actually, I don't.
My
know.
mom still uses AOL, but there's a lot of people still on AOL.
Yeah, that shocks me.
Right.
I remember when I tried to cancel AOL, and I'm on the phone with this guy. He's like, "Why do you want to cancel?" I'm like, "Why would I pay for this when I can get it for free on Yahoo?"
No, but no. You want to keep it so everyone knows at $10 a month. It's
Right, but then I lost my original screen name, which was Milkman 316. It was a tip of the hat to the AWA wrestler Jake the Milkman Milliman. He was a jobber, and Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Dude, that's my era of wrestling.
Oh yeah.
Brutus the Barber Beefcake. I'm trying to think. Well, I
Junkyard Dog, Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, of course,
Macho Man.
Oh yeah, brother. Hogan, fucking
Ric Flair.
Oh, the Nature Boy.
Yeah,
God, we almost lost him a few weeks ago too.
Yeah, that was pretty. I've been doing the Comic-Con circuit recently.
Oh, cool.
So we actually have the same Comic-Con agent. So I've seen him around, hung out with him in Wales and Detroit, and yeah, he's a cool guy. Every once in a while, people find out that I'm at the same place as Ric Flair, and they're like, "Dude, can you?" And I'll shoot a little video, and he's like, "Woo!"
Fucking Nate.
Yeah.
I could just imagine just sitting down and throwing beers back, just listening to those stories. Fuck. Oh my God. So you didn't let it go to your head. I mean, how long between Rookie of the Year and the next film was it?
It was about 2 years.
Okay.
And then, it was King Arthur's Court, and then the sequel was a year after that. And then it was pretty much just a sparse, guest spot here or there.
Right.
And by the time I was about 18, I was like, man, I should probably go do something else. And
Right.
And it was right before my 18th birthday. I had a job lined up in England. I was going to go work at a studio, a sound studio, where I had done the ADR for King Arthur's Court. and I was like, I'm going to live in London. I loved London when I was there because we shot at King Arthur's Court in Budapest, Hungary, and then we did some pickup shots outside of London, and we did the ADR there. And so I really wanted to move to London. I just thought it was the coolest place. And it was the summer before, or I was just turning 18, and I booked American Pie. And so then I didn't move to London.
Well, and I think that was the right choice.
Yes, I mean I wasn't going to bypass,
Right,
but we didn't
exactly.
know
Well,
that it was going to be anything. I just was happy to have another job.
Right, yeah, because we got some American Pie questions coming in actually, and I just wanted to wait to get to them until we actually started talking about it. But we're at it, so we might as well just fucking go for it.
Sure.
I know somebody wanted
some FN American Pie questions.
Yeah, I know. Well, actually, one of the questions that somebody asked me the other day is like, ask them if there really was a book, and I think that was based on a true story, right? The book, the Bible, or whatever.
I wrote that book. No, I'm just kidding. No, it was what it. I don't know if it wasn't based on a true story. I don't think. Because I know that Adam Herz, the original Tongue Tornado name was the Satin Buzzsaw. Okay. And we couldn't use it for the film because it was actually a coined phrase from an actual sex book of a technique, a trademarked
trademarked sex technique. I love
called the Satin Buzzsaw. So Adam had to come up with a different name for it. Same way with like Dog Years in the movie is based upon Yesterdog in Grand Rapids, Michigan. But
Gotcha.
they tried to, Universal tried to license that from Bill, the owner who I've met, and he was like, get the F out of here. They wanted to like own his name in perpetuity. He was like, you're not making it into Bubba Gump. Like, no
right,
thanks.
Exactly. What was the camaraderie like in that group?
It was cool, man. We all, I think similar to like the characters all being like different, we are all different kinds of people.
Right.
But it all sort of worked. The only people that I think knew each other beforehand was like Eddie Kay and Jason Biggs. They were friends in New York from back in the day, so they were the only ones that had any like a pre-existing friendship or whatever before the movie.
All right, and you were just 18?
Yeah, I was 18 during the first one.
Okay.
I was actually all the right ages, and Eddie Kay was as well, where he was like a little bit young. In fact, like the reason they couldn't show the sex scene with Eddie K. Thomas, who plays Finch, and Stifler's mom, was because Eddie technically wasn't 18.
Oh, wow.
So that's why the scene happens off camera, which I think worked to the advantage of the comedy of that moment.
Right. Well, it's amazing how people they want to see everything, but they forget about the imagination part
Nothing
of it.
beats the imagination,
it's like,
man.
It's like when you're a kid and you're watching Jaws, but you never see the shark. You just hear the music.
Again, like I have a theory about this, that compromise is the birth of creativity, because those are both instances where, the shark wasn't working. Eddie Kay couldn't be shown having sex on screen because of his age. So they had to compromise, and they had to get creative because of that compromise, and it made both of those moments better. I love that I've just compared Jaws to banging Stifler's mom. That's amazing. That's the first for me.
Oh man, now you had a sex scene in that movie.
I did.
And
if you technically count, like only intercourse as a sex scene, I had one. But if you count everything, I really had three.
Right.
I had the most sex in that movie.
And that was your that was your first sex scene in a movie, correct?
Yes, not my first on-screen kiss. I did that when I was 11 with a 22-year-old.
And a kid. Ah, shit! I don't have the clapping anymore. That gets a Pat Fontaine laugh.
Yeah.
Anyways, you'll hear the Pat Fontaine laugh when you listen back to this.
Fair enough. So yeah, that was that was my I lost my on-screen virginity, and then I went straight from American Pie to deflowering Lacey Chabert's character on Party of Five.
Oh, there you go. There you go. You had your training.
And then I had zero sex in American Pie 2. Good times.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah, and zero sex in American Wedding.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
And imaginary sex in American Reunion. So really, I went from having the most sex to having the least.
To having nothing.
To having such a small amount that my character had to dream about it.
Did you, was it awkward?
Dreaming about sex?
No. Like,
No, I wear Adidas, dude. All day.
So the filming of the scene, it wasn't awkward for you. It was.
No, it was definitely awkward. I mean, they kind of try to make it a little less awkward.
By having Tara Reid there.
By by you not having sex with yourself imaginarily,
right?
Or having a stand-in. No, like because you have like 75 or 100 crew members. When you're doing an intimate scene like that, they kind of do what's called like the only the necessary department heads are allowed to be there. They kind of like make it a skeleton crew to make it a little bit more intimate and more comfortable for you.
Right.
But you're still like doing I mean, it wasn't as uncomfortable doing the sex scene on the day as it was sitting at the movie theater at the premiere.
Watching it with your parents?
Watching it next to my mom, and my mom with her head in her hands, like kind of watching and kind of like embarrassed to watch. Yeah, that was more embarrassing than the actual doing, for sure.
Were you afraid about getting typecast after the success of the movie?
I mean, not necessarily because it's sort of that same kind of thing. Like, so I didn't necessarily learn my publicity lesson then. So I still was on the same kick. So we obviously did a lot of press for that film.
Right.
But I was one of the few people that didn't hire like my own publicist to like further that. And to be fair, like the original script that came out actually started and ended with Kevin. And if you notice, like the first film, and this isn't me like trying to say like, oh, this was taken away from me. It just was what it was. And so this is, and I've talked about this in interviews before, but maybe not this candidly. And that, if you watch the film, you can see that my character has probably the most amount of dialogue, is the most sort of, poignant to driving the story.
Right. You were kind of like a leader of the group.
Right. Yeah. And so in that original script, it was Kevin opening the movie with, Tara Reid or Tara Reid's character, Vicky, giving him instructions about which way to move his fingers with his hand down her pants. That was the opening scene in the original. And then the ending scene was Kevin putting the Bible or the sex Bible back to the library and all that with like, I want to say even like a voiceover thing or something then. But yeah, I don't quite remember. But so anyway, I didn't hire a publicist because, again, I just wanted to work. And I hadn't learned the lesson that in order for work to beget work, you have to actually advertise. So, I was there and I was still doing it. And it was only like on the second one that I kind of realized that.
Gotcha.
While I think that was a mistake as far as like getting other jobs right away, I'm sort of thankful for the career that I have after that because I think not being more widely publicized and Universal deciding to like focus more on like the comedy aspect of like Jason Biggs' character. And then, Sean William Scott was a day player on that movie. He wasn't even, he did so well. Like he popped from that.
Well, he's one of those guys now that's like
very typecast.
He's Stifler.
Right. So that there are good and bad things. I mean, maybe more people know who he is and more people, whatever. Maybe he works more, but he didn't get to play Walt Disney.
This is true.
So, I've at this point now, because of my sort of early mistakes in steering away from, going the extra publicity mile, and maybe it wouldn't have been any different. I don't know. This is just my own like hindsight is 20/20. But I've played 4 real people. I've played Frank Sinatra Jr.
Oh wow.
Abby Hoffman, Martin Scorsese, Walt Disney, and so I've always had a goal to be a character lead.
Okay.
And a character lead in my mind is someone who disappears. So while some people are like, oh, I only know that guy because he's like the guy that's with Tara Reid. Amen, man. Because that means if you know who I am before I say my first line of dialogue on the movie, I'm not doing my job.
Well, it's like that night that you played Soundcheck, and the guy's name escapes me right now, but he's on was on Star Trek Voyager, and I'm introing him, and Ferlazzo stops me and goes, "Don't forget about Spaceballs." And I'm like, I stopped. I'm like, oh my God, you're the we ain't found shit guy. He's like, yep, that's me. It's like, fuck, are you kidding me? See, it's just stuff like that. Let's see. Scotty from Canada wants to know, did you get abused by the strippers in American Wedding?
I actually got them drunk before we shot the scene because they were a little bit embarrassed. So I invited them over to my trailer. And I asked the props department, I said, well, guys, when you have to make a bottle of like Jim Beam for the set, what do you do with the real Jim Beam? And they were like, well, we dump it out, of course. And I was like, right. So can you bring the stuff that you dumped out to my trailer? Because I got the girls coming over and they're a little embarrassed about being so scantily clad.
Awesome.
And then I had like the wink during those scenes with the beer, because they would in the first films we were 18, so they were serving us near beer.
Yep.
You know, and so obviously in that one I was like gave a wink, and let me tell you something. Drinking during a scene that you shoot for like 12 hours and starting that at like 10 in the morning gets a little challenging about like the 6th hour in. And then doing that 2 or 3 days in a row. By like the 3rd day, I was like, no, I'm good, guys. I want the near beer. In fact, could you put water in this one?
Right? Exactly why they switched to near beer on Cheers. Because they would get fucking hammered. Norm would get fucking hammered. Scotty also wants to know, did you guys get to watch Shannon Elizabeth strip when they gave us the holy shit moment?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Movie magic.
Yeah, movie magic, green screen. That was like a closed set sort of moment.
Yep.
You know, but she, you know, yeah.
You should get a part in the next American Pie movie for Izzy as donut seller and getting boobs showed in his face for a free donut. All right, I'd take that because I do like boobs. I do like
And
boobs.
what about donuts?
I love donuts. You can't have a body like this and not love
So
donuts.
you gotta eat a donut off of some boobs.
There you go. It's like every time I go to Krispy Kreme, I think to myself, it's like, how could I get myself to go through that conveyor belt to get covered in that glaze and then have strippers lick it off me? You know, just on principle.
I mean, have you haven't figured that out yet?
No.
I mean, is it
I think it would burn.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah. Very
It'd be like a good kind of hurt, though, right? It'd be worth it.
What, kind of like anal?
No, like no pain, no gain.
Oh, there you go. One more question, then we're going to take a short break, and we'll come back and talk about music. Now, this is one of those things I was probably wrong about, but did you go through a sober Jesus phase?
I went through, I guess I kind of did, around the time that I was around like 18, around American Pie, actually.
Okay.
It's sort of not necessarily the story you would think, but it was, it's a bummer. I had a high school girlfriend that I was with for like 5 years.
Okay.
And I remember when I got American Pie, she was like, you're going to go shoot a sex comedy? I'm never going to watch this. And she was pretty like bummed out about it. So probably one of the main reasons that, you know, like everyone's like, did you really hook up with Tara Reid? I was trying so hard to prove to my high school girlfriend that there was acting and there was life.
Actually, we got that question.
Which is true, and there is the separate things. And you read about it in the trades all the time, like, so-and-so did this movie together, and they hooked up, and then they broke up, and then, you know, that's kind of why people have these short-lived relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I've been now married for like 10 years, which I think in like the entertainment industry counts as like 25.
Yeah.
It's like dog years, you know, industry years.
That's the only hope I'm going to have for like getting a 25th anniversary is marrying a girl in the industry for 10 years.
There you go. So yeah, I around that time it was kind of disenfranchising, and so I met some people that were they were very nice, but they were also like super just, I don't even know how to describe it, but like weirdos in the sense of like, I think like anything, moderation is the key.
Yeah, I agree.
Moderation in drinking, moderation in Christianity. Most people will not tell you to take moderation in Christianity.
Right. I had 10 years of Catholic school, so I've had enough Christianity.
Yeah. Well, the issue I think is that, you know, I still have the same kind of, you know, I like the same sort of things that I believe in, but
right.
I kind of came to realize that the word religion doesn't exist in the Bible and it's man-made. And so there are elements of that I think you can get caught up in, and you actually start to forget what it is that you were doing in the first place. Mm-hmm. So, you know, there's definitely a more moderate way
well, I think, you know,
to be, you know, to have faith, as it were.
Well, for me, I think it's just, learning the morals. Don't be a douche.
Yeah,
be good to people. Don't
true.
kill. Don't bone your neighbor's wife unless he asks you to.
Well,
if he's watching and jerking off in the corner, hey, whatever. As long as she's hot.
Well, that's sort of the thing, is I think everyone kind of adds their own thing to
exactly.
whatever their opinion is, really,
right.
And whether we're talking about an opinion, because that's really all faith is it's an opinion,
Really quick before we go to break, Mark checks in. Love your music, Tom, and listen to your songs all the time. All right,
man.
We're gonna get congrats on the marriage from our crazy Canadian Scotty Strickland, who does have one of the roadie packs, which you can buy. Yes, you can. All right, we're gonna take a short little break. Come back, talk a little music with Thomas Nicholas. It's another fucking podcast.
If you need to promote your band or business, or just want to stylize, personalize, or customize your ride, check out vid-decals.com. Want to create and customize your own stickers representing your band, or make your own bumper sticker? Vid Decals can do it. All stickers are printed on quality vinyl and can be placed on any flat surface. Stickers are an affordable way to promote your band or business. Go to vid-decals.com to get started. That's vid-decals.com. vid-decals.com.
Retro Arcade brings Minnesota and surrounding areas arcade games from the days gone by. All of those great games from pizza joints and arcades are available in cocktail units and custom machines. Dozens of favorites from your youth in one machine to complete your game room or man cave. Retro Arcade also sells and services your favorite pinball machines. Find them at facebook.com/80arcade. That's facebook.com/80arcade. Retro Arcade. Your youth is just one click away.
RockstarLeatherworks.com is your home for badass rock and roll gear. Featuring 100% handmade leather bands, watches, cuffs, bracelets, and more, Rockstar Leatherworks has something for everybody. Whether you are going to the show or you are in it, you can find something to fit your needs. Choose from a variety of designs or create your own masterpiece. Their bands and watches are second to none. They also ship internationally. Who needs a stage to be a rock star? Check out RockstarLeatherworks.com. All right, and we are back with Thomas E. and Nicholas, but first we must talk about A&P Productions Laser Engraving Division. They are the great people that do my roadie packs, which are, of course, the Zippo and the Flask and the Dog Tag and the LED lighter for only $35, including shipping. So if you just want to be... I want to make it sound cheap. So $29.99 plus $5 shipping in the continental United States.
Plus $4.95 shipping and handling.
Yeah, there you go. Shipping and handling.
Try to do that math.
So let me, oh God, I didn't have this up. That's what she said. So as this is coming up, so I can give you the website, but you can find them on Facebook at A&P Laser Engraving. Just throw that in, find that page, hit a like. And if you got anything that you need, laser engraved. He does everything from mugs to tumblers to sidearms. Yes, you can get your pistol actually engraved with whatever you want. You can go to their A&P Laser on Facebook or squareup.com/store/Oz Toys. That's OZ Toys. Squareup.com/store/Oz Toys. And John Palumbo Design. Check out John Palumbo Design as well. And he designs stuff for you. Logos, web design. He does it all. Your band needs a logo. Your new movie needs a logo. Call up John Palumbo Design and he'll take care of it. JohnPalumboDesign.com. Yes, Scott, the roadie pack does kick ass. And I have 3 more in stock, so you can order one right now. Just PayPal me the money and I'll send it to you. PayPal.me/Izzy Presley. Now, you have a premiere coming up.
I do, yeah.
You walked in, you were on the blower working on the red carpet.
I was, yeah. We got the premiere at the Chinese Theater on Monday, October 9th.
Oh, look at
for
you.
The Lost
Big
Tree.
dog with the Chinese Theater.
Yeah, man. We're stepping on up.
Atta kid.
Yeah, so The Lost Tree, it comes out into theaters, select theaters across the country on Friday the 13th in October, since it is a drama thriller with some horror elements. And it stars Michael Madsen, Lacey Chabert, Scott Grimes, who's on the new Oroville show. His mom actually helped me get my first agent back in 1986.
Wow.
My mom was casting atmosphere on one of his films, and then it ended up being like the same height as him at the time, and then was his stand-in.
Oh, wow.
And then, met his mom, and she helped me get my first agent. But yeah, so we're doing kind of like a cool thing. So here's the thing. If you want to see the film, it'll be for at least a week at the Laemmle in Beverly Hills at the Music Hall 3 and the Pasadena one, the Playhouse 7, the two Laemmle theaters. But the premiere is actually a hybrid premiere.
All right.
So I always hear from people about how they've never been to a premiere before. So I talked everyone into opening up a select number of tickets to the public.
Oh, wow, that's badass.
So you can actually buy the tickets. They're only like $13. See? Friday
cheap.
the 13th, $13.
Ah, what you did there.
But, it's on Monday, October 9th. You can buy them for $13 on Fandango.
Oh, badass.
So there's only a select number that are available, but, the red carpet's going to be inside in the lobby there. So you can kind of like hang out and sort of be a part of it in a different kind of way.
It's funny. I've been out here 4 years, and the only red carpet I've been on is some ginger tranny hooker from Santa Monica Boulevard. Yeah, it's part of my comedy.
Did she
stuff.
have it shaved into the shape of a heart?
No, it was totally shaved.
Oh,
yeah.
Well, then how do you know?
Well, unfortunately, it wasn't her nipples that were hard.
Fair enough.
Very well. Yes, Lori, that is a great idea. I have a empty bottle of Jack Daniels down here that I have in studio guest sign, and when it's filled up, I auction it off, and all the money usually goes to a charity. So
that's awesome.
I'll have you throw your John Hancock on there.
I will.
Just don't put your mushroom head stamp on it. Just the autograph is fine.
The autograph is that's all I got for you.
Very well. I love it. Yeah. So
and speaking of, I didn't touch on this before. So obviously, I mentioned Living Among Us. Oh, the Lost Tree on the website. We list all the theaters that it's going to be in. Living Among Us comes out in January, and then I gave you a copy of Handbook for Mortals.
I was just going to ask about that.
And we are actually shooting that in Las Vegas. It's all about a young woman who moves to Vegas to join a magic show, but it turns out she can do real magic. And for the entire month of October, we are going to donate all of the profits to the families of the victims in Las Vegas. So
that's badass.
Yeah, well, because my business partner lives in Vegas, and we were actually like on a business call, and she's like, "Oh man, there's been this shooting," and I didn't think much of it, and then all of a sudden it was like a huge deal. It was not just like you're in LA, you're like, oh, another shooting, whatever. Not like 400 rounds and 400 people.
Insane, absolutely insane. So it's going to be a little bit harder to read than the book that Don Jameson gave me last night. You might be a metalhead if, like
I told you, Izzy, if you don't want to read the book, you can just wait till it's a movie.
Well, I know. Let's see. You might be a metalhead if you wore a British flag T-shirt because Joe Elliott from Def Leppard wore one in the Photograph video. There you go. If it takes 3 tries to get through TSA. Okay.
We decided that TSA stands for takes stuff away.
Right. If carrying your amp is your only workout. There you go.
I always thought it was like lifting a beer.
That too. I
guess.
So you might be a metalhead if that is available. And so the book is called The Handbook for Mortals.
Yeah, so like I said, if you don't want to read the book, Izzy, you can wait till the movie comes out.
You know what? I might try to read.
Do you know how to do that?
I do, but it's usually like autobiographies, like
Fair
the
enough.
Motley Crue book, which is the Bible.
Yeah,
have you read the Motley Crue book?
I haven't. I just saw that Springsteen just came out with an auto.
Dude, you need to read the Motley Crue book.
Okay.
Every chapter is a different member of the band, and it skips around chronologically.
Does it cover John Corabi?
Yeah.
Crab
is in there.
He sang on my first album. He did
Get
some
the fuck
backups.
out of here! I know Crab.
Yeah, because I'm friends with Bruce Kulick, who played lead on that first album.
I know Bruce as well.
I figured you would since you're a Kiss fan.
Yeah.
I only just recently learned because I always thought like, oh, I'm friends with Bruce. Bruce was in Kiss. I was like, he was in Kiss, during the era that they had no makeup on.
Yeah.
And then recently, I was doing a Pledge Music campaign for my last album, and someone was like, oh, I really want something signed by Bruce, and I know you worked with him. So I was like, Bruce, would you sign it? He's like, yeah, no problem. And so then they sent me a picture of the dog, and I was like, wait a second. I didn't know there was a time when he did have the makeup on.
No. He didn't wear the makeup. What that's referring to is in the Kiss Extreme close-up video.
Okay.
He was asked the question if you would have wore makeup. He's like, I don't know.
There are pictures of it, though.
Yeah, there's pictures of, Vinny.
So wait, he never wore the makeup, or he didn't wear? Because I felt like I was an idiot, and I didn't want to tell Bruce about this.
No, he never wore the makeup, but that was his thing. He was joking. Maybe they just put dog makeup on me or something. So somebody created it.
So then, what about the other dude? Then he had like a thing.
The Onk. That's Vinnie Vincent. Yes, he did wear the makeup because Vinny replaced Ace in '83 on the Creatures of the Night record, even though Ace is on the cover, and Vinny toured on Creatures of the Night as the Onk, as the Egyptian warrior, with Eric Carr on drums as the Fox.
And I know Eric as well because he played in with Bruce. There was like a super band that he had for a minute.
Eric passed in '91. You're thinking of Eric Singer.
I am thinking of Eric Singer.
But I don't think Eric was. You're thinking of Union, and John was in Union with Bruce.
Right, and I know John as well.
Yes, but Eric Singer wasn't in Union.
Okay, fair enough. Why were they jamming together that one time? I remember meeting Eric. It's all kind of blending together. Yeah.
Eric's just like Bruce, super nice guys. Yeah. See,
I'm getting schooled on.
Yeah. Well, I got
some
schooled.
music history.
I got schooled.
You know what? It comes around.
Me, I schooled you. There you go.
I schooled you on Rookie of the Year not being in Minnesota and not being with Disney, and you just schooled me on like so much rock history. I'm like, I'm tucking my tail between my legs right now.
I feel like Eddie Trunk right now. Scotty says, holy crap, I got to check out your music, and we're going to get into that in a second. Mark says, I remember the Pledge Music campaign. Mark probably gave you a lot of money. Laura says, I see, there you go, whatever the fuck that means. He's Australian, and he still hasn't sent me a fucking Elle Macpherson lookalike. It's horse shit. What age do you start getting into music?
I started playing guitar when I was 14.
Okay.
And it was right after Kurt Cobain died, and so it was crazy because I wasn't really like into music and things, and then there was like this kid who was in my junior high school, and when Kurt Cobain died, he did a week of silence. Now this is a kid who I knew he had a band, and he was like barely passing all of his classes.
Like a true musician.
He wasn't very committed to anything except being high and like showing up at school.
Yeah, that's the typical musician,
especially in that era,
high school experience.
Yeah, this is junior high.
Oh,
so.
yeah, see, there you go.
But I remember like Kurt Cobain died, he did a week of silence. He got sent to the principal's office every day. He did not talk for 1 week. And I thought to myself, what would make Kevin be that committed to something? And suddenly, like a magic trick, the guitar that had been sitting in the corner of my apartment where I lived with my mom, like appeared. And then my friend, this guy Chris who lived in Marina Del Rey, like started playing guitar. So his dad came over and showed me some chords. I'm like, Mom, do you have a music book? She had this like copy of like Bread.
Nice.
So
and Bread is amazing.
So I remember. The first thing I did was I went to the store and I bought a Led Zeppelin book that had tablatures on Stairway to Heaven because I had watched Wayne's World.
No stairway.
And I was like, I asked, like, what is that? What does that even mean? Because this is all, pre me, like, kind of like coming into like this cognitive realm.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, you mean like that's the song that everyone learns first? Well, then I want to follow the rock gods because I had worn out Houses of the Holy in my mom's collection.
There you go.
So, I mean, I was a music fan of, like, classic rock,
but
I didn't come into my own sort of opinions until I was 14, and then I started learning. I bought a Green Day book. My buddy had Nirvana, and then we swapped. And then I remember, like, I have, like, probably some cassette tapes of me trying to sing Polly at, like, midnight on a school night and just, like, sounding like an animal was dying.
Of course.
And I took some guitar lessons, and Jody Whiteside said, if you want to learn how to sing and play guitar, do it together at the same time, because otherwise you're only going to know how to do one or the other, and you won't be able to, rub your stomach and pat your head.
It's funny because I can't do either. How was it learning to play guitar and growing up in that era without the Guitar Hero? Because there was no Guitar Heroes then.
No, there wasn't. Yeah.
I'm 44, so I grew up. We had Ace Frehley, obviously, but they go through the 90s. You had Randy Rhoads, Eddie Van Halen, George Lynch, and just all these iconic guitar players. Then you go to the 90s, and it's like, we don't feel like taking a guitar solo because, we don't want to take the spotlight. I've actually heard that from a band before. We don't take solos because, nobody should have the spotlight in the band. It's like, oh, my God, are you fucking kidding me?
No, I mean, I wish I could shred to take a solo.
Right?
I mean, I started at 14. As soon as I picked up the guitar, I played 3 hours every day for 2 years before I could, even play for anyone, just to get it to sound what I heard in my head. And I loved it. And I would take it to set, and when all that time downtime in between scenes on a movie set, that's what I was doing, is in my trailer just jamming.
Fuck the lines. I want to play guitar.
Exactly.
Wait, what kind of lines? No, I'm kidding.
And so I remember, I did my first album when I was 17.
Holy shit!
That you'll never hear,
of course,
because anyway. And I did a couple other things after that. A couple other an EP, 2 EPs actually. One of the EPs I actually recorded at Ricky Rocket's studio, the Hit Shed.
Oh wow!
So, but I still wasn't happy with the sound, so I didn't release any of that stuff. It wasn't until 2007, and then I released that album in 2008 that I dropped Without Warning, because that was the first album, and that was the one that Bruce Kulick played on. Tony Franklin from The Firm played fretless on a song.
Wow.
John Corabi sang backups on a track. Chris Chaney played bass on the whole record. Lawrence Katz from the Mighty Mighty Bosstones played guitar. Brian Virtue co-produced it with Jeremy Rubelino, who was Bob Ezrin's cousin, who I went to junior high school with. He was the uncool kid that everyone picked on that I didn't pick on, and then he produced my first fucking awesome album.
See, there you go.
Don't pick on the guys at school that get bullied by everybody, because you never know if they're going to make you a fucking rock god later.
Exactly. But are you a rock god?
I mean, I was during that album at least. I had an all-star band in the studio.
Dude.
I mistakenly thought, I'm like, oh man, if I build it, then I'll just have this awesome record deal, and I'll just, be amazing. And then I was like, what do I do? The industry was imploding at that point.
Right.
It was 07 to 08, and I look at Brian Virtue and I go, what do I do? I have this record that it cost all this money, and there's all these amazing players on it. And he looks at me and he goes, you tour.
Yeah.
So
that's it.
600 shows later and 6 albums later, I tour.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Did you ever feel like that you've got that stigma now of being that actor who's trying to be a musician?
I mean, I think that's a stigma of actors that are actors first and musicians second.
Right.
And the only person that I think that has, in my opinion, successfully crossed over is Jared Leto.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Leto, however you pronounce it. Jared Leto.
I have a friend who literally follows that band all over the country.
Yeah, I mean, and Brian Virtue actually, engineered their first record that Jared worked for a year and a half before it went gold. Now, the difference is, he actually had a record deal. I've never had a record deal. I'm a DIY kid. So, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know, whatever, man. I just love playing.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's about having fun. That's why I have an Ace Frehley tribute band, so I can just go play Kiss songs.
There you go.
And Ace songs, of course.
Of course.
Of course. You got anything else you need to pimp?
Man, I'm trying to think.
Lost
Tree, Living Among Us, Handbook for Mortals. There'll be another film in about 8 to 10 months called Strange Ones.
I'm strange. I'd fit right in.
Socials. My name's too long for a handle of any socials. So my name is Thomas Ian Nicholas. So the acronym is TIN. So TIN Band.
There you go.
TIN Band for Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Very well. Well, dude, thank you so much, man. This is a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Izzy, thanks for having me, and thanks for not being mad at me when I flaked out the last time we tried to get me in here.
Dude, shit happens.
Yeah, well,
It's fucking Hollywood. Everything flakes out.
I'm flaky, but at least I'm willing to admit it.
Yeah, there you go. I'm kind of the same way. But no, actually, you know what? I think that's the thing about Hollywood is people are flaky. Hollywood gets this bad rap. That LA gets this bad rap. Oh, everybody's just fucking douchebags out there. I'm like, no. I think people generally mean well. They're just flaky.
I think that it's based upon the fact that it's a hustle. Any major city.
This is true.
It's a hustle, man. Like, and in today's day and age, because of like how fast technology is, people expect everything so fast.
Right.
So I thought technology was going to make life more simple, and now instead we're all trying to do 7 things at once.
That's why I keep my phone on Do Not Disturb. Oh, my God. Once I started doing that, not getting woken up by every little beep and text and everything. Oh.
Yeah, I could leave my phone on Do Not Disturb, and I still have 2 kids. So
there you go. Yeah, see, you have responsibility. I don't, other than bills.
Fair enough.
And when I feel like paying them, I do. Very well. Oh, thank you, Scott. Great episode. I appreciate that. Let me click my outro music here, which actually does feature our good friend Bruce Kulick. All right. Thomas Ian Nicholas, thank you so much. Come back anytime.
Thanks, Izzy.
Thank you. Check out all the social media, which is, of course, Izzy Presley 1 on Facebook and Another Effin' Podcast on Facebook on my quest for 1 million followers on the Twitter machine. Creeping up to 2,000. Getting there.
Amen.
Close.
One day at a time.
That's right.
One follower at a time, bro.
That's right. So it's at Real Izzy Presley on Twitter and Instagram. And, of course, if you do want to donate to the show, I do not get paid to do this, so please do that. It is paypal.me/Izzy Presley, and it does have the wimpy Y, not IE. Like Vinny Tortorich has the IE, not the wimpy Y. I'm the wimpy Y. IZZY Presley, just like the kid. So there you go. See you next week. Working on my guest. Not exactly sure if it's going to happen or not, but it's Hollywood. You never fucking know.
Yeah, flaky Hollywood
exactly.
people.
Exactly. We'll see you next week. And, of course, pay attention because I'll be posting the one from The Other Door in just a couple days here with Jim Florentine and Don Jameson from That Metal Show. We'll talk to you in a bit. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a fact. I do love you all. Now, kindly go fuck yourself.